Hey everybody, welcome, welcome to Hidden Horror. Thank you for spending this time with me. I appreciate that. Let's get started.
Hey everybody! Welcome to Hidden Horror. Thank you for spending this time with me tonight. You guys, I'm telling you right now, I am on one. I'm on one tonight. I've been contemplating, going through my thoughts, and after I did my video on Colt Gray, the last one, it really hit me. And I want people to just hear this, know this. Nothing was going to stop the mass shooting at Apalachee High School in Georgia. I'm so angry. I almost want to cry because I have no one to unleash this anger on. After I did my last video on Colt Gray, it dawned on me, I promise you, my intuition, nothing was going to stop the mass shooting. Colt Gray, he was going to do this shooting. He had planned this shooting. It was in his fantasy life. It was something he prepared for. He thought about. He had thought about, at least that we know, since the seventh grade. And that's what we know because at some point he went on Discord allegedly and told the people on Discord. So we don't know when the thought took his mind. But we do know the mass shooting at Oxford High School was in 2021, in November of 2021. The video that I showed you of Colt Gray at his home with his dad, when law enforcement came to discuss the tip that the FBI had about him wanting to do a school shooting, that was in May of 2023. So my common sense kicks in. Ethan Crumbley, he was sentenced in December of 2023. Was Colt Gray following his case? Following the mass shooting at Oxford High School, how everything unfolded, how Ethan Crumbley emerged from the bathroom and began the shooting? Was he an admirer of Ethan Crumbley? Because what do we know? You better check it. You better check it. I put two links up. One from abc11.com from an article I already shared with you from the Thomas Matthew Crooks the shooting where he tried to kill President Donald Trump. He admired Ethan Crumbley. He looked for him. He researched him. He looked at the mass shooting at Oxford High School. Let me quote it. The suspect in the Trump rally shooting searched online for information on the arrest of a Michigan mass shooter and his parents who were prosecuted in a 2021 high school shooting. He visited websites for how to build explosives, and in the minutes before he fired shots in an attempted assassination of Donald Trump, he screenshotted a picture from a live stream of the Butler, Pennsylvania rally. That's just one of the shooters. According to the AtlantaNewsFirst.com page, the link is on the Hidden Horror Facebook page. It is reported I'm looking, you guys. Give me 1 second. I'm here. I'm just looking at something. I can't find what I was looking for. This actually is infuriating me. But this is a separate point. I am going to take a screenshot of this. Just give me 1 second. Y'all, we failed these kids. We failed them. If we don't get it together, we failed them, man. We seem to not have learned from these past mass shootings and the mass shooters. when I sat down and I was thinking, it really hit me. Colt Gray, in the 7th grade, he knew he wanted to do the mass shooting. He said it. He allegedly said it on Discord. And I don't know if these young kids are idolizing these mass shooters. They're researching them. But he said it. He allegedly said this. And I think he didn't want to do it at the middle school because he attended another year of middle school. He went from the 7th grade, he got promoted to the 8th grade. He did not do the mass shooting in the 8th grade. He would have had his gun for Christmas of 2023, the same time that Ethan Crumbley was receiving his sentencing. And he didn't do the mass shooting after December 2023 up until that school year ended in late May or early June of 2024. He didn't do it. He waited until he transitioned over to the high school where would be more kids. He didn't have grievances with those new teachers and majority new kids at the high school. He wasn't there weeks, he wasn't there months. It was days, either the first day or the second day. And let me check for that also. How many days was he at the school? I believe it was his first day. And I'm going to tell you what really burns me up. And this is the other thing too. I'm going to do a separate video on the AR-15 style rifle that allegedly was used in the mass shooting by Colt Gray. But I want to talk about school safety and how he got that gun in the school, but I'm going to do it separate. I'm going to do that separate. I'm just reading the details and I just not going to say anything, but I was trying to see how many days he was into the school year before this happened. I'm going to share something with you, and this is why, again, there has to be accountability. I'm so sorry to these families of the victims. The 2 teachers and the 2 14-year-old students that were freshmen, new to the school just as well as Colt Gray, right? New experience, excitement about starting school, first couple of days into school, having to build relationships, make friends, learn a new schedule, learn a new school. 2 dedicated teachers, 2 dedicated mathematics teachers, working with kids, educating them, connecting to them. What I'm about to read now, it really breaks my heart, but I got to do it. I have to do it. We got to do better. We care about these kids. We care about the community. We care about the teachers. Then, damn it, we got to do better. Because when we drop the ball, it allows this evil to come in and exploit all of the vulnerabilities. When things aren't organized, when they're not in order, when rules are going unchecked, no one's managing, overseeing, ensuring that things are done properly in order, that there is follow-up. This is what can happen. And it didn't have to happen. We need laws that say if you make a threat to do a mass shooting to hurt someone in school, you're out of there. You don't return to school. You don't show up and get another chance to sit in that seat where everybody else is vulnerable to what you're capable of doing. But this time, we dropped the ball. We need due diligence, and we need people that know what the hell is going on. Let me just read it. I linked the articles on the Hidden Horror Facebook page, but I'm only going to read an excerpt. These articles we've already gone over, but now I'm zoning in. I'm getting a laser sharp focus. And you know what? I'm sorry, it's not good enough. I dropped the ball. I made a mistake. It didn't happen. I didn't know. There was no follow-up. It's not good enough. 4 people are gone. And we have to track these students that pose a threat to our educators, to staff, to security. This is not a war zone. You should feel safe in school. You should not be afraid. I should not have to go over with my child over and over again how to get away, how to hide, how to run. Fight back. If there's a mass shooter, fight for your life. I shouldn't have to go over that over and over again. And I'm mad. It's not right. We have a society that's making us live in fear of each other. No one sends their child to school to be educated, to be killed, to be hunted. And if anybody feels differently, show up. Say it today that you feel differently. Because you're part of the problem. Say it today. You better wake up. It's not going to stop. You got parents that don't care. Every last one of them comes forth and they don't know what the hell is going on. Every one of them says my child was not capable. But what did the kids do? They showed you in their behavior. They said it. They wrote it. They drew it. Every red flag indicator that you should have stepped in and you should have did something about it. But this one right here, we dropped the ball. I'm going to tell you how we did it. When I go back over those articles, I want to highlight the words of the sheriff, Janice Mangum. I don't know this person. I have no idea who this person is. But I'm going to tell you, when it comes to responsibility and accountability, you dropped the ball. You didn't take it seriously. When somebody makes a statement to kill others, it's not accepted anywhere else, on the job, out in public, at a business. That is considered a threat. And you know what? The vulnerability is some people are being overlooked because of who they are. And we make all kind of reasons, all kind of excuses for the behavior. Look at Colt Gray's father, how he had to temper the two officers. Oh, when you talk to him, make sure he's the child. You had to go up to the school and tell the school, when he's taking the test, make sure that you handle him this way. There were signs that this boy, he was going to do this mass shooting. I believe no matter what, it was in his mindset. And as early as the 7th grade, he said he was going to do it allegedly. And what happened? He did it. He even gave you a time frame, because he wanted to get into that high school. And you know what? When it comes down to it for me, it's not about the bullying so much. It's not about the attacks and things of that nature and what was going on at home. It's in plain sight. If people asked about this young boy, what did I say when I showed you the video? I said, check his body language. He has the hat on. He's not engaging. He stepped back. He stood behind the chair. His father pulled the chair out. He was creating distance. His hands was in his pockets, both of them. He was swaying back and forth. Look at the body language. We must learn, or we're going to keep having these mass shootings. But this one here, let me tell you. This is going to be a quote. On Monday, Mangum is the sheriff, said they cannot find a record and that their staff alerted the schools. So we have a tip from the FBI. Says this IP address, go and find it, locate who lived here, and you have your potential suspect that said he's going to do a mass shooting. You find out Mr. Gray has moved. You go to his current residence. You talk to Dad. Dad says, yes, I have a son. Oh, he games all the time. They bring Colt forth. He's a gamer. He was on Discord. He denies that he said, I'm going to do a shooting. Why would these people on Discord lie about you? Why would they contact the FBI? Then you admit, I'm not on Discord anymore. I closed that account. Why did you close the account? Follow up. Follow up. Why did you do it? Why did you close the Discord account? I'm not here for it today. This young man, Colt Gray, he decided in the 7th grade or earlier that he was going to do a mass shooting. He felt comfortable enough, allegedly, to tell people on the platform Discord he was going to do it. And now we have the sheriff saying to us that they cannot find a record, that they even alerted the schools. This is not my child, but I can only imagine if my child was reportedly making a threat of a school shooting and the FBI is contacted and local law enforcement knocks on my door, people want to say, why was Dad arrested? Do you think it started with just this? Come on now. We got to use common sense. Do you think it ever started with this? That was May of 2023 when law enforcement knocked on that door. Dad admits we've had traumatic experiences. Colt is being bullied. He's had problems. I'm up at the school all the time. If we don't see the red flags, the shame of being evicted, set out items on the street, embarrassed, humiliation, ridicule, more bullying, all taking an emotional impact. You never get your son any help. Then, fast forward, you think it's an idea in your mind to buy your son a gun. Isn't this almost contrary to basic thinking? Your son allegedly made the threat of a mass shooting. Somehow he's under the radar because, per Sheriff Mangum, they can't find a record of alerting the schools. They didn't identify him as a threat or potential threat. And this is the kicker. quotation marks, my regret is the school, if there was a breakdown, if the school was not notified, then of course I have a regret about that, said Mangum. It will be fixed on our part, on the sheriff's part. Ask Irami's family, the math teacher that was celebrating her birthday with her students by bringing in desserts. How are you going to fix it? Ask the assistant coach's family. He has these 2 small kids and a wife. He has students that look up to him, that were inspired. Nobody said anything bad about these people. Nothing but good things, positive things. And then you got the 2 students, 14 years old, not even having a chance at life. You get the evil in the world, and their goal is to inflict this hate, this disdain, this anger, this pain on to others. It's not a day that I will ever understand evil, because it is a choice. It is a choice every day. And for some reason, these mass shooters, with all of their circumstances, their challenges, their difficulties, they weren't like the average person that overcomes it. Forget about these people. I tell my daughter, forget about the people from high school. You're not going to even see them as an adult. You're going to go on with your life, make something great of yourself, and you won't even remember these people. You're not living in the past. You're focused on the destination of your future. But these mass shooters, they are trapped. They are angry. They have embraced this mentality of harming, killing others. They are emotionless. Ethan Crumbley, he wrote, not only did he want to kill as many people as he could, he wanted to see the families suffer. He wanted to see them cry. And he went another step further. He said, I want to see them kill themselves once they hear about their child's death. That's what he wrote. It's layers to this type of evil. They're not willing to put in the work. They're not willing to build themselves up, to beat the odds, to fight in the world, to make a place for themselves. Show them. You don't have to say anything to anybody. Make your success the example. Because it's not where you start, it's where you end. The race is not over. You're constantly growing, developing, becoming who you want to be. You get to choose. And the hard part about the sheriff's statement is all of the victims, they didn't get to choose. Their lives are over. It's done. There's finality to it. And these words, it's just futile. It's useless. It accomplishes nothing. What are you going to do now? How are you going to improve in these areas where there was vulnerabilities, there was lack, there was not organization? That's what we need to know now. What are you doing? What are you going to do? What is the plan? How are you going to proceed so this doesn't happen again? And not just in Georgia, across the United States. We have a problem where guns are being used, lives are being taken every day. We don't live in a war-torn society. School is where you're supposed to be safe. And you shouldn't have to worry about being gunned down by a peer. Someone typically that you know, that you see, and everybody else sees there's something wrong with them. We're just not addressing it. We're overlooking them. And unfortunately, when these cases happen, we're not even surprised when we see their picture up. We waited for the picture on Colt Gray. We're not even surprised. Most of them already look like something is wrong. I'm going to get to what I'm here for. It's hard, y'all. It's hard. You got to tell the truth. I'm not going to lie to myself, and I'm not going to lie to you. We need change. We need change. We need to do better. It's not enough to address the mass shootings. We need prevention. This article is coming from Newsweek.com. It's dated September 10th, 2024. It's titled Colt Gray Interview Alongside Father Shown in 2023. Wait a minute, wrong article. I'm sorry, my apologies. It is by Newsweek.com, and the article is titled Colt Gray's Case Eerily Similar to Oxford High School Mass Shooter Ethan Crumbley. Is dated September 6, 2024. It's written by Aaron Keller and Jenna Sundell. The prosecutor in Michigan 2021 Oakland High School shooting case is noting the similarities between that tragedy and Wednesday's fatal incident at Apalachee High School in Georgia. Oakland County Prosecutor Karen McDonald spoke to Newsweek on Friday, and while she says it's still too early to compare then 15-year-old Michigan assassin Ethan Crumbley and alleged Georgia shooter Colt Gray, 14, themselves, their cases are eerily similar. McDonald says both Crumbley's father, James Crumbley, and Colt Gray's father, Colin Gray, bought their sons the guns used in the school shootings as Christmas gifts. There are also allegations that there was some concern over his Colt Gray's mental state and him being in crisis, so that is eerily similar, she said. In December of 2023, Crumbley was sentenced to life in prison without parole for the shooting deaths of 4 classmates, wounding 6 others, as well as a teacher. Psychologist Colin King later testified that Crumbley was experiencing psychosis, a break from reality, at the time of the shooting, and determined he had major depression, anxiety, and obsessive compulsive disorder. Crumbley's parents, James and Jennifer Crumbley, also became the first parents to be convicted of involuntary manslaughter in a U.S. mass school shooting. For that, they were sentenced to at least 10 years in prison. While the Crumbley's parents' convictions made history, McDonald says she is uncomfortable taking a victory lap for bringing the charges against them. I believe it was the right thing to do, she told Newsweek. I think it brings some validation to victims that people are being held accountable, but it doesn't take away their pain, and it certainly didn't prevent it from happening again, which is hard. It's very hard, but if nothing else, maybe, hopefully, it will have people asking the right questions like, where did this person get the gun? Colt Gray has been charged with murder for killing 2 students and 2 teachers and will be tried as an adult. His father, Colt Gray, was also arrested and charged on murder charges related to the shooting. Colt Gray reportedly told investigators that he bought his son an AR-15 style rifle used in the shooting as a Christmas present last year. When asked about her reaction to reports that Colt Gray gifted his son, who had also been investigated for alleged online threats to shoot up a school just months prior, McDonald told Newsweek, "It felt like I was being punched in the stomach." I'm in contact with victims and Oxford parents who lost their kids. Watching this play out and the trauma brings up feelings again and again and again for people who went through that and will never be completely healed from it. To see this play out in such a similar way, I don't think words can describe how that makes me feel, or more importantly, how it makes these parents feel. While McDonald did not want to speak for those affected by the Oakland shooting, she said her conversations with them involved sadness, grief, and anger that something so familiar has now happened to others. In May of 2023, the FBI spoke with both Colt and Colt Gray after tips that the then 13-year-old allegedly made threats on Discord to shoot up a middle school the next day. Colt Gray said he had hunting rifles in the home, but Colt was not allowed to use them unsupervised. Officials also spoke to Colt Gray, who appeared calm and reserved. He stated that he used to have a Discord account but deleted it because it kept getting hacked. Colt Gray claimed someone accused him of threatening to shoot up a school, but he would never say such a thing, not even as a joke. The user profile name of the Discord account linked to Colt Gray was written in Russian. Officials report translated to English, the name spells Lanza, allegedly referring to Sandy Hook Elementary School shooter Adam Lanza. Colt Gray told officials that his son does not know or speak Russian. Investigators determined that the allegation that Colt Gray was behind the Discord account could not be substantiated. Georgia notably does not have a red flag law, a gun law that permits a state court to order the temporary seizure of firearms from a person who they believe may present a danger. McDonald says she has the same message for parents of teens as she has for every other legal, responsible gun owner. Safely store and secure your firearm, she said. That is one of the first things they teach you when you learn about gun safety. I said this a lot during the Crumbley trial, and I stand by it. I don't believe most parents need this message, but it takes seconds to install a cable lock on a weapon and make it secure so that a minor cannot get a hold of it and use it to commit a crime like murder. McDonald continue is such an easy, accessible way to make sure that our kids are safe and not doing it. We saw that in the Crumbley case, and we're seeing it now that it can lead to devastating results. Newsweek spoke with several experts this week on gun violence prevention about the importance of addressing school shooting threats. Law enforcement certainly should be taking threats of school violence seriously and utilizing the tools they have at their disposal to reduce these threats. Lindsay Nichols, policy director for Giffords Law Center, said the legal tools that are available to law enforcement differ dramatically among states. Dr. Ron Avi Astor, professor at UCLA's Luskin School of Public Affairs and School of Education, said once officials determine there is not an immediate threat, they often do not continue to follow up. Astor also claimed a common goal among shooters is to impose terror on a national level. It's not necessarily always to target one person or just somebody with mental health issues. The way it's been framed in Congress and with other people, Astor said, the goal is to commit terror for every child and parent in the United States, and they use the media to do that. Nichols echoed McDonald's thoughts on how these preventable tragedies impact those affected for life. They shouldn't happen, and they are traumatizing an entire generation, Nichols said. Whew. Let me check and see if I have any comments. Okay. I want to leave this conversation with some positive thoughts. We just entered a new school year. Students have returned. We have teachers in place. And we have to move forward. We're facing some challenges. And the best thing that we can do is work together, support each other. Even if you're not in this community, you still can support the community. I shared before the GoFundMe accounts for the victims, for their families. We can send our love, we can send our prayers, and we can do work in our community, in our school districts to support the staff, the administration, the teachers, the security guards. If we work together, if we see something, we say something. If we continue to create an environment where nobody is being bullied, and if we see someone that needs some help, support, we do just that. If we can remember to use our kind words, our patience, and treat people with love and respect, maybe, just maybe, with all of the efforts combined together, we can thwart some of this hate, some of this violence, and we can also educate the community that gun safety is also a big part of the problem, access to a gun. Moreover, some of the mental health issues and just the need for more mental health services. So, I want to thank you for spending this time with me. I am going to bring forth more information about Colt Gray. My next video, I'm going to talk about the gun. My number one question, not just that he had access to a gun, many young people do. How did he get that gun in the high school? That is another vulnerability, and we have to talk about it. The only way we're going to make changes is if we honestly acknowledge all of these weaknesses, the failures, and you know what? What can we do about it? We can make these changes so that we feel safe again. And if we don't feel safe, we're at least taking the measures to prevent something like a mass shooting in our schools. So again, thank you for spending this time with me. This is hard. This is really a hard one. Just seems like something that we could have happened to prevent this. So I want you to remember, stay smart, stay safe, stay savvy. Be well, all my friends. Have a beautiful Sunday night. I'll see you in a video soon. Bye, everybody. Bye.